morning, everybody. My name is Rubén Riestra. Je suis désolé, très désolé. My French is awful. It's not operating, so I need to resort to English. Okay, because you're recording. Okay, that's a limitation, but that's okay. Good. You know, I move a lot. I'm Spaniard. I use my hands to talk, so I would love to talk together with my colleague and my friend Thierry on the RAGE project, what we are doing, and why are we here for. We're talking about advanced technology and know-how for serious games studios. What do we mean by this? First of all, before any other consideration, could you please raise your hand if you're already working in the serious games industry, working for a company? Anybody? Willing or planning or intending to work in the industry? Good. So the others study the industry probably, or develop things for the industry, I hope. In any case, this is a collaboration between academics, industry, different kind of people. That's what I'm going to try to explain in the next few minutes. So RAGE stands for Realizing an Applied Gaming Ecosystem. Sorry about that, trying to put an S for serious games in the middle of that word was difficult, so we kept with applied, but in general terms, without getting into philosophical discussions, serious games and applied games are in the end games for a purpose, beyond entertainment. That's what we are trying. So it's an umbrella that also covers gamification and in general using this kind of technique to solve real world problems. Why we are trying to create an ecosystem? Well, it deals with the situation of the industry, at least in the European Union. I know that we are here very close to the European Union. We are Europe. Things that we have seen in the last, say, 10 years, they were telling to us, or we were telling, hey, serious games has a great potential. It has a great potential because it's an efficient solution for changing behaviors, for skilling people, for doing very different things, improving loyalty of customers, many different things. So the future looks great. And there would be market acceptance because nowadays the average game player is over 30 and the millennials are coming. Everybody plays games, so it is clear that they will incorporate games into their daily life. So that means that the industry will grow even more than the entertainment game industry. What happens 10 years later? Well, the reality check is that we have not seen such a huge demand. There have not been such a big growth. The industry is still fragmented. The industry right now, we don't have big companies in the serious industry, in the serious games industry. There are small, little, regional, local. The industry is scattered, gathered in, allow me to say optimistically, clusters across Europe. Not all across Europe, but in 4 or 5 countries we have 95% of the industry. And we don't have too much strength, or at least there are doubts about our strengths to compete. We can discuss this later if there is Thierry is an expert in this. We can discuss it there. We can really talk about what's going on, but honestly, I don't care how much what happened in the past. What I'm trying to think is about what is going to happen in the future and how can we create a better future. Because among other things, again, there are new opportunities because we came from a situation, we are apparently coming out of a financial crisis that, well, disrupted a lot of things, and we are having big disruptive things, positive ones in changes in the customer experience, in the digital transformation of industries. In the case of the European Union, talking about the digital single market that will bring zillions of new economy given to the real single market in digital terms. But in any case, something which is a reality is that we have a e-skills deficit. Right now, it's interesting to see that in Europe, we have between 27 and 30 million unemployed people, but at the same time, we have around 1 million jobs that are not being covered because we don't have people with the sufficient skills to be digital, to run the digital transformation, to create better digital customer experiences. So we need to train, we need to educate, we need to transform, reskill millions of people in a very short time. And if you know a little bit about what is the promise of Serious Game could be part of the solution. But we are talking about big things, big customers, big projects that exceed the capacity of our small little companies. So either we create a super duper Microsoft of digital games, of serious games in Europe in 3 weeks, or we are not going to be able to seize all these opportunities. So we need to find a better solution, something that can be more adaptable to us, something that it is a soft networking, not a rigid structure. So this is why we created the project, which is a technology transfer and a know-how transfer. There's a lot of people that thinks that our digital industry in Europe requires further and further technology, which is true, but that's not enough. Technology, having good technological products and services is not good enough. We need know-how to compete in the market, and that goes beyond technology. So what we are trying to do in RAGE, on top of doing technology and know-how transfer, is to foster critical mass, getting all together, try to get some sort of a virtual collaboration in a virtual community that goes as an ecosystem, because we are trying to survive more or less within the same environment. What we are looking for is to compete globally. Why? Because the people that we are competing against, they are global. So we need to work global. We cannot work just in our regional or even national markets. Of course, it's difficult for us Europeans to become global when we don't have a single market, where we're still, in the European Union, we still have, for example, in the case of my country, in Spain, we have 18 ministries of education. So when I have a serious game, I have to convince not one guy in Paris, not one guy in Lausanne, but 18 guys if I want to get a market. Just multiply that by 28 countries, you go to Germany. Okay, Spain is Spain, you know, we know what Spain is. But go to Germany, how many Länder do you have? We have 40 operational languages. Okay, we are here in Switzerland, in a very small piece of land. You have several languages, you're used to that. But you go to Brussels, they have 2 languages, and they don't know how to deal with that yet. So we have real problems that goes beyond technology, okay? Forget about the legal framework. They're trying to change the legal framework, but you know, they're lawyers. It will take ages. So in the meantime, we need to still keep on working, okay? In the end, who we are the flagship project in the area of gaming of the research and innovation. You know, for those of you familiarized with Horizon 2020, we are not anymore in research and technological development. We are talking about research and innovation, research for a purpose. The purpose of our research is to help the industry of serious games to operate in better conditions in the future. In order to do that, this is not very common in a research project, we are talking about a market model from the very beginning, because the ecosystem is going to have a service offering that deals with the demand of serious game. This is usually something people don't take care, thinking about the ministries of education, but also about the insurance companies that could use gamification to improve the loyalty of their customers. Of course, our core interest is, we call it applied game vendors. You can call it serious game developers. You can call it indie studios. There are many, it's the same animal with different names. People trying to provide serious game solutions to a bank, to a Ministry of Education, to an army. But there's also another part of the thing that needs to work, which is the suppliers of these guys. So far, the companies are small, and it's very interesting. The CEO of certain studios, the owner, he or she is doing the sales, preparing the tax declaration, working in coding, and paying the rent. That's not the way you grow a company. That's how you survive in a company. If we need to compete, we need to get tougher, bigger, better. And we need to take care of something called economies of scales. So if somebody creates a small little component that can work in many different types of games, welcome. Don't reinvent the wheel. This is the kind of thing that we are trying to help with this. And we try to help, and we try to contribute, and we want to coordinate with the creative industries, with the Commission, with the member states, with the regional government, with the gaming industry hubs, which are a critical element of this system. So what we try to do with RAGE is to improve the fit for purpose. One of the things is, you know, it's not only in serious games, you could see it in many fields of technology. The startups spend 90% of their effort during the first 3 years just to develop a product. And the funny thing is that sometimes when after those 3 years, they go when a product that they think is great, and they try to show it to the customers, and the customers say, sorry, that's not what I need. Yeah, but it does this and this and this, it has this functionalities, it has this performance. Yes, but that's not what I need. So we want to change that kind of way of thinking and acting, because we need to grow. We want to enable new markets and cooperation of clusters. I remember the industry is scattered. Thierry, in France, how many poles do we have? 5, 6, 7 big? The clusters, yeah. Just in France. Just in France, okay? In Spain, probably we have 5 or 6. In Germany, we have 6 or 7. If we go to the British that still are with us, at least for some month, they have 10 clusters. Yeah, but that's, think about Brexit. Brexit is going to be a lot of damage, but also opportunities, because if they get out of the picture for certain aspects, somebody has to cover the hole that comes there. So it's opportunities, not only problems. We want to foster industry recognition. During the work we do in RAGE, sometimes when we ask, okay, guy, in which industry do you work? Oh, I do games. What kind of games? No. Let's see, it doesn't come, hey, I'm a serious game industry guy, yeah. No, that doesn't come in. You know what, when you don't have the identity, when you don't put the shirt of your national team, it's very difficult to say how much do you love your country. Of course, there are much more important values, but a very simple way of finding, you have seen the Germans. They go with their Mannschaft, or the guys of Real Madrid, they get their shirt, and it's simple to identify who you are. Okay, this guy is from Barça, this guy is from Real Madrid. Clear, simple. You don't make mistake when you talk about Barcelona with a guy from Madrid. Okay? We need identity. We need to be understand that we are part of a bigger team if we want to go for the big piece of cake. We have this motto about enabling faster, easier, more cost-effective creating of games. Honestly, a lot of people in the project kills me each time that I say this. But what we want to do is don't waste too much time developing games. Devote more time to develop customers and markets. Will pay for your next development. If you don't have customers, you can have a great product, but this is the story of most of European technology companies. A startup in Europe nowadays usually lives for between 4 and 7 years. Most of them, without issuing one single invoice. If you don't issue invoices, it's because you don't have customers, and that means you are living from grants or from your regional government help or for some kind of agreement or whatsoever. But you have spent 4 years developing your product, creating your team, and forgetting about your customer. That's not a good way to go, because 95% of those, 95% of those companies disappear after between 4 and 7 years. Why we can say these kind of things? Well, we have a great team. We have a big mixture. Let's see, this is a team of about 140 people working for 4 years altogether to create the ecosystem. And we have people from different parts of the geography. Academic, let's see, from the intellectual point of view, the background, and from the place of Europe they are coming from. So, okay, good. Thank you very much. So, it's a combination of expertise, which is really, really relevant. This is not business as usual as a research project. In terms of results, I can say it very quickly. We have 3 basic results. One is software components and knowledge that you can use for further improve whatever you are doing in serious game, either on the academic and innovation side or in the company side. Of course, we put a lot of pressure on the innovation side. We have another thing that it is unusual from a research project. We are trying to provide, and we are going to deliver, evidence of usage of serious games in real world environments. This is something usually SMEs working in serious games or in other technology companies don't have, which is a neutral demonstration that what they produce is useful. It's not interesting, it's useful. That's unique. And of course, there's a third element that will go also after the project is finished, is creating this social space for people like you, like me, like Thierry, working all together, trying to find a better future for the industry. In kind of software components, this kind of stuff, let's see, of course these slides are available for anybody, so I'm not going to discuss them because honestly I'm not a technical guy, I'm a marketing guy. But we have components that we know that the game developers need because we have asked game developers what kind of components do you need. Another thing what I was stressing a lot, the real world experience. Come on, these police interviews says, okay, we are going to use serious game to teach police detectives in Portugal how to interview victims of sexual assault. And this is real world. Police people have the problem when they are interviewing, usually they are interviewing the bad guys. They know a lot about interviewing the bad guys. I'm not going to get into the details, but they know the trade very well. The problem is when they have to interview a victim that sometimes think that he or she, well, mainly she, is guilty, which is crazy. So we need, this is a very, very extreme case. Hopefully, there's going to be less and less need of this in the future, but today we still need it. But then we have something that, as I said, relates to 25 million people per year. Thierry is working together with Randstad, you know Randstad, providing new tools to help people to improve their search for jobs. We have another case that we take advantage of students who have excelled in sports that are recognized by companies as better employees. I don't know if that's true, but let's think so. Digital skills, this is bread and butter. This is bread and butter. This affects tens of millions of people in Europe. And we might have a solution, at least to contribute to the problem. The same thing with professional communication. Most of our university graduates, it's not that they don't know how to talk over the phone in professional terms. They cannot give a proper presentation in professional terms. They are almost illiterate in those terms. So again, millions, and we need to do this very, very fast. So we will provide evidence that we can be part of the solution for hot issues like this. Whoa, I killed somebody here. Good. In terms of the social space, it's not only about technology, it's about people. And industry is not technology, it's people working together using technology. We are trying to provide some contributions in this area. Because in the end, what we need to do at the end of the day is to put very different kind of people, that's different kind of animals, allow me to say. That's what we call an ecosystem. Different species, different way of thinking, different cultural background, that we need them to work together and to produce something that it is relevant. So my invitation is meet the team. We cannot pack the 140 here in this picture. You see some of the old guys there, but we also have young people, which is the hope of our project. Not the old guys, but you go please to our website of the project, and in 6 months, 8 months from now, you will have the ecosystem going in beta. You will see it because, you know, this is all in all. Here's the flag. This is a research project, so it is far to be shiny, sexy. It's a website of a project, but in a few months from now, with the help of everybody, we will have the first version of the ecosystem running. You will find news about that, of course. You will find the news at least here, but also in our other channels. So please, 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 get in touch with us. Get in touch with us. You have the website. If you have the patience to talk to me, hey, get in touch with me. I will be your entry point. I will connect you with the right people because I'm an ignorant in 99% of the things about the project that probably will be interesting for you at the beginning. But I know the other 1% which should also interest you. So, what for? Hey, check our assets, check our games, check our pilots. You might find something useful for you. But also we want you to show us your ideas, your components. Do you have an asset that you think that somebody could be you? We can provide the showcase, an amplifier, and in the end, what we are looking for is to get in touch with us so we can make a reality about building up this critical mass that we need for competing globally. So that's it. Thank you very much. If you have serious questions, this is the man. I'm the man. Thank you. If you want to say, I make noise.
Do you have any question? Vous avez des questions?
What's the partnership possible with Switzerland according to the EU?
Thank you. What's the possibilities for Switzerland as we are not part of the EU? Do you have restriction regarding Swiss?
Okay. I don't know if this is this working? Okay. You have just touched part of the 1% that I know. So back to me. Let's see, for collaborating, there's no restriction. If you're, let's say, this is a project that it is ongoing. Up till now, the status for a potential Swiss partner was that you have to get your own funding from the federal, the Swiss federal government. This, as far as I know, is going to change very soon in the future, or have changed in the last 3 days. Because there was an agreement that was stopped, that then is restarted. I usually work in projects, and I have had Swiss partners, and right now I'm having a Swiss partner in several projects that we are running. So that's not a problem, but forget about the passport. If you say, hey Ruben, I'm a serious games guy, I don't care about your passport. If you have ideas, if you have solutions, come to us. We will not charge you. That's on the safe side. We will not charge you. But if you have good ideas, that we would be more than happy. And if you're Swiss, this is, as a matter of fact, this is not confidential technology. We are going to be more than glad if you use it. Do I answer? Did I answer?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, good.
Yeah, at least when the program will be finished, everybody will be able to use the technologies that we produce. So in 1 year, every, what they call assets, but I mean more component, software component, will be used by everybody, downloadable from the website with some example, the games that we are developing, and all the assets with documentation, and all will be available for everybody, even Chinese people.
Other question, but more about the visibility of serious gaming project. For the moment, when I speak with friend or colleague or this stuff of people, when I speak about serious gaming, everybody say, what is it? And a lot of people for the moment have the problem that when we speak about game, they think it's only a game for little children and just for the fun fact, and they don't see the potential of this kind of stuff. So what is the strategy to promote this kind of stuff, to show that to the people that it can be something great, and yeah, what is the strategy for that?
Wow, this is a philosophical question, so it will take hours to answer. There is so entertainment games who can be, we have very good value and teach you things, and they stay on the entertainment side. And sometimes you have stupid serious game who teach you nothing. So, so I have no answer. Sorry. I just want to say that I like apply game, because you know when you say serious game, it means that the other one are not serious. And I make both. I mean entertainment and serious game. And the entertainment games I'm doing still serious, in fact. So apply is a better term, definitively. And it's more maybe may be a part of the answer, but no, you have some philosophy.
Yeah, I got a philosophical answer to that. Let's say this is not about serious games, it's about technology in general. In general, high-tech state of development in terms of marketing high-tech is at the level of maturity of the car industry of the 1930s. This is the big, big problem. Because the mistake that you were doing, and the mistakes 95% of the people in high-tech makes when selling, is you are trying to sell serious games. Why? Because that's what I produce. No, the situation is different. Rubén, I got a solution for your problem. Rubén, you have to train 1,000 people in 6 months. I got a solution for that. If I don't ask you which is the name of the solution, why are you telling me the name of the solution that only makes you happy? And in the very moment that you say serious game, okay, come on, it is serious or it is game? Serious game, as a matter of fact, was a name given by soldiers to the game. So crazy. Think about the solution. This is the problem with industry, that we are not trying to solve problems, we are trying to sell products that end up not being fit for purpose. Because you are not taking the effort to understand which is my problem and how are you going to solve it. The challenge for you, you want a strategy, very simple. Try to write a complete description of the solution without using mechanics of the game, without using the word serious game, without using all the jargon that it is so easy for you to describe what you do. Try to write the solution in terms of, Rubén, you have a problem that you have to do this and this and this. Show me that you have understood my problem and explain me, hey, we are going to reduce this. Explain me the benefits, explain me what are the requirements from my perspective. Don't tell me, hey, it has to be compatible with Unity, interoperable with I don't know what. That's your problem. Don't tell me your life. Don't explain me your life. I'm not interested in your life. I'm just trying to solve my problem. If you are part of the solution, I will love you. If not, sorry, next question.
By the way, it's compatible with Unity. They are compatible with Unity, and if you don't want to use it seriously, most of the component can be used in an entertainment game also. I mean, face recognition or text-to-speech or whatever. They are just piece of technology, in fact.
So thank you for your presentation. What will happen once the project will be finished? I mean, in the long term, to get this market in the long term, do you have some perspective of creating a company, an NGO, whatever? And what will be the business model in this case?
This is part of your 1%.
Sorry about that. Let's see. Definitely there's life after the project, or as the Commission clearly explained us, what are you going to do after the money from the Commission runs off? That's the reason why we are calling for action. We are calling for troops. We need to have a community. We need to create a community of people that it is willing to compete. It's not a community, it's not a typical user community or academic community or domain experts. No, 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 no. We need to go to the real world, is to create a community that afterwards will become a good part of the EU basis or the European industry. That has to be, by design, something which is not a large corporation in Delaware or a big guy in Silicon Valley. This is not the case. We can create Silicon Valleys all over Europe that we still are Europeans. So we need to find our own way of doing things. What we are doing is, what we are trying to do is, first of all, to create something that generates trust and trust in general terms is going by neutrality. We need to have guys or institutions that show that, hey guys, we're trying to help everybody. But then we know, because if you see at the team, let's see, we have a lot of academic, we have a lot of public employees, we have a lot of people who is not in the business of creating a new business. So we need an operator of the ecosystem. But if you have seen certain operator, let's see, Unity is run with a team of 10, 15 people. No more than that. But the trick is that the operator cannot commercially launch the ecosystem because it will not be credible. So the foundation, the trust, I don't know, I don't care about that. That's not the big problem. The problem is to get 20 people around the table that say, hey guys, are we for these kind of lines? We will provide certain basic common values and try to agree upon that. It will take years, but at least we are trying to go in the right direction. After that, the market will tell us. The other thing that it is important to create all this thing is to try to trigger traction, demand. Convince the Ministry of Education that, okay, I know that in certain countries, to approve certain technology to be incorporated in the educational process, it takes ages, or it takes convincing a lot of people. We need to generate traction. We need to make stories about, hey, I know your problem, I'm trying to solve your problem. And afterwards, you come back and say, you know, Rubén, it did work. That it did work, with technically called an endorsement, is worth 1,000 images. That, of course, represent 1 million words. So get out of the words, get an endorsement. Get somebody, hey, I tried and it worked for me. That's very difficult. You know, there's nothing more stubborn than reality. Okay? Or the perception of reality, as the psychologist says.
Yeah, just a piece of answer. I think the word is community. And already we have, I mean, when a university gives us some piece of technology, in general, we cannot use it. So I have to send them back and say, okay, this doesn't work. I want this and this and this and this for me, with working on Unity. So they are forced to do it in Rage, so it's good. And I think behind this, when it will be finished, if there is company of individual who take this open source thing and continue to work with them, to push them to maintain the technology, it will work. And if nobody take care, it will just fail and be abandoned. And it's why it's so important for us to build this community already.
All this is open source based.
Yes, Apache. Yes.
In general terms, yes.
I have another question regarding support, but in a political way. Do you provide, or do you have any plan to give resources as how to sell this kind of project to politicians? Because as Rubén said, in Switzerland we have more than 20 countries, and each one should be converted to the point, and we are very administratively compressed. I mean, what are your experience about it?
You say. I can say
no.
so. Okay. Okay. Let's see. The background is that we have have participated in the creation of a similar thing in the language technology environment. But before that, I have spent the last 30 years getting money from the public sector and give it to other parts of the public sector or give it to private hands. That's my job. Definitely, we will provide some sort of support in the conclusions, in the recommendations, what I am saying, what I explained to your colleague earlier today, one important part is technology, but the other thing is know-how. And the most important know-how that the serious games industry needs is how to sell. You don't know how to sell because you are technologists. Nobody taught you, say, okay, guy, first thing that you have to understand when you're talking to a politician, then you have to explain which is the benefit for him. If you don't explain that, the rest of the conversation is just useless. Of course, there are going to be recommendations, perhaps not as explicit as this one, but part of the know-how, the transfer of the know-how, is how to focus your effort. You cannot devote 90% of your effort to product development. As a matter of fact, when we were saying this thing about creating jobs, creating the software easier, faster, and quicker, and basically what I want to say is what we want to do is to get you out of the development and to spend more time in developing your market, in developing your value propositions, in convincing people. If you don't convince the people, the rest makes no sense.
Yeah, my no was maybe a little bit too much, but
He has been living out of this.
But anyway, you will be helped to sell your product out of your country, and this is quite important. I mean, if I take my example at BIP Media, I mean, my benefit will be after 4 years of Rage, definitively. I know how to sell my product in Germany, in Italy, in Spain. And it's part of the job. I mean, most of them, there is maybe 4 pure serious game players in France, only 4. Pure player, I mean. And it's insufficient, it's so small. And you know, they are, why? Because they only live on the French market, and the French market is so small. You have place, rooms for 4 companies only. You have to extend your thing. If you're a specialist of language learning, for example, you have to sold your product in every Europe. And this is the real difficulty for a serious game company. So I mean, Rage can help on this because of the community, because of the contacts that we can help. And
yeah, it's not only how to sell in Germany, it's with whom you can attack the German, because you already have gens, you have people in Germany that you already know. He doesn't have to learn German. And as a matter of fact, a German buyer is going to have problems. It's easier for them to buy from a German than from a French. And in Spain, it will be the same, It is people, and it is know-how. Okay? I don't know how are we with time, but
okay.
Thank you very, very much.
Please, this is a small gift for you. So you will have to share, it seems to me. Thank you so much again.
Thank you.
So,